Hello everyone, welcome to Radiopedia 5. Today we read about barium enema. Barium enema is a special type of X-ray used to examine the large bowel, colon and rectum for problems such as polyps, inflammation and tumors. Normal X-rays do not provide clear image of the bowel, so a substance called barium sulfate is used to produce a clearer picture. Following articles are described in the video and each discuss in detail: introduction, anatomy of large intestine, methods, indications and contraindications, contrast medium and equipment, patient preparation, technique and filming, aftercare, and in the last, complications. The large intestine consists of the cecum, colon, rectum and anal canal. It starts in the right iliac region of the pelvis, just at or below the right waist, where it is joined to the bottom end of the small intestine. This test is usually done in two ways, and this video will highlight both of these methods. Double contrast will be used to demonstrate mucosal pattern, and single contrast will uses in children, since it is usually not necessary to demonstrate mucosal pattern or reduction of an interception. Indications: to assess the anatomy of the large bowel and occasionally the terminal ileum, abnormalities detected include tumors which may be benign or malignant, ulcer, diverticula, mass, obstruction and thickening of the lining of the colon and rectum. A barium enema is not reliable for the diagnosis of rectal pathology. If a tight stricture is demonstrated, only run a small volume of barium proximal to define the upper margin, for otherwise the barium may impact. Contraindications. Contraindications for a barium enema include, but are not limited to, suspected bowel perforation, toxic megacolon, severe ulcerative colitis or pseudomembranous colitis, deep rectal biopsy within the previous 3 days, and in this case it is preferable to wait for 7 days, and in relative, which is most common, incomplete bowel preparation and recent barium meal. Contrast medium. Barium sulfate 125% water volume of 500 ml or more as required. Equipments: Miller disposable enema tube. If the patient is incontinent, it is permissible to use a tube with an inflatable cuff. However, its use should be confined to such cases owing to the increased risk of perforation. Patient preparation. Many regimens of bowel preparation have been reviewed. A suggested regimen is as follow. For 3 days prior to the examination, low residue diet, no iron preparation taken, no meat in diet. On the day prior to the examination, fluids only, tablet Dulcolax at 8 am and 6 pm. On the day of the examination, a high colonic washout with 2 liters of tapped water. The patient then empties his bowel. At least 1 hour must elapse before starting the barium enema to allow time for the colon to absorb the excess water. Preliminary film. A preliminary plain abdominal film is not necessary unless severe constipation renders the effectiveness of bowel preparation doubtful. Toxic megacolon is suspected. Technique. The double contrast method. The patient lies on his side on an incontinence sheet and the catheter is inserted gently into the rectum. It is taped firmly in position. Connections are made to the barium reservoir and the hand pump for injecting air. An IV injection of Buscopan 20 mg or glucagon is given. The infusion of barium is commenced. Intermittent screening is required to check the progress of the barium. The infusion is terminated when the barium reaches the hepatic flexure. The column of barium within the sigmoid colon is run back out by either lowering the infusion bag to the floor or tilting the table erect. Air is gently pumped into the bowel, forcing the column of barium round towards the cecum and producing the double contrast effect. From the prone position, the patient rolls onto his left side and over into an right anterior oblique position so that the barium coats the bowel mucosa. Films. There is a great variation in views recommended. Fever films may be taken to reduce the radiation dose and cost. The sequence of positioning enables the barium to flow proximally to reach the cecal pole. Air is pumped in as required to distend the colon. Spot films of the rectum and sigmoid colon lying right anterior oblique, prone, left posterior oblique, left lateral of the rectum. Spot films of the hepatic flexure, splenic flexure and rectum in erect. Left anterior oblique to open out the splenic flexure. Right anterior oblique to open out the hepatic flexure. Right lateral of the rectum. Spot film of the cecum lying. Positioning of the patient supine, lying slightly on the right side and with a slight head down tilt will usually give a double contrast effect in the cecum. Overcouch film to demonstrate all the large bowel. Supine, prone, left lateral decubitus, right lateral decubitus, prone with the tube angled 45 degree chorded and centered 5 cm above the posterior superior iliac spines. This view separates overlying loop of sigmoid colon. Posterior evacuation film is taken after patient evacuates his bowel. The single contrast method. This technique is almost similar to double contrast method except that only barium or contrast medium is administered rectally and no air is given. Aftercare. The patient should be warned that his bowel motion will be white for a few days after the examination and to keep his bowel open with laxatives to avoid barium impaction, which can be painful. The patient must not leave the department until any blurring of vision produced by the Buscopan has resolved. Complications. Perforation of the bowel. There is an increased risk of this in infant and the elderly. Obstructing neoplasm, ulceration of the bowel wall, inflammation of a Foley catheter balloon in a colostomy or the rectum. Patient not steroid therapy, hypothyroidism, venous extravasation. This may result in a barium pulmonary embolus which carries an 80% mortality. Water intoxication. This symptom is drowsiness and convulsions. There is an increased risk in megacolon because of the large area of bowel mucosa available for absorption of water. Intramural barium. Cardiac arrhythmias due to rectal distension. Transient bacteremia. Side effects of the pharmacological agents used. Severe urticarial reaction to the rubber of the cuff used in self-retaining catheters.